Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Top Fire. Today's topic is how to get your CDL. So, let me fix this. All right. So, how to get your CDL. So, I'm gonna tell you my experience first, and then I can go on about what they have changed, for my knowledge. So, what I did was, first of all, I stacked my money up. I saved my money up. I found out I went to a local school near me. I did a Google search, CDL school near me. Simple. I looked around, and I seen that this was a school that is across country. So the school that I went to is called 160 Trucking Academy. So they all across the country, all across the states, mainly the main states, I'm gonna say, like the big cities in a sense, but they all over. Um, so I called them up and asked them, how much is there a deposit? How long is the class? What time and everything? So when I called, they told me it's gonna cost me $5,000. Gonna cost me $5,000 if I don't have a permit, or it's gonna cost me 4,500 if I already have a permit. So I said, okay, no, 48. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. 4,800. So I said, okay, no problem. So they said in order to start, it's a deposit of 1,500. Classes is every Monday through Friday, and it's morning classes. So I had to be there. I think it was 7:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm gonna say 7 to 4. 8-hour class. They don't do no nights, anything like that. This is my area, so I don't know what other areas is. Um, so Monday to Friday. Now, if you haven't got your permit, it's gonna cost you 5,000 flat. Okay, this was 2 years ago. So you pay the 5,000. They'll go over with you every day of the week, 8 hours a day, through the test, and they will take you personally themselves to go take the permit. Okay, now this is for those that didn't have a permit. This is the $5,000. That's what they do. So that first week, okay, and the school was 4 weeks without a permit. Now, if you already have a permit, it's only going to be 3 weeks. Okay, so since I already had my permit and everything, and I did all my endorsements myself, okay. Now my endorsements, that's another thing. Side note. So my endorsements are $10 a piece. Now, if you did it like how I did it, which I screwed up, I paid for. First, you got to take the general knowledge before you pay for anything. Okay, before you pay for your permit and everything. So the general knowledge is 50 questions. Okay, it's really general questions throughout all 5 of the endorsements, pretty much, and basic knowledge of driving a vehicle in a sense. Okay, simple. Okay, so once you do the 50 questions, you pass that, then you pay. Once you pay, I forgot how much it costs exactly, just for the general knowledge, but I know how much I paid total. Okay, so when I did the general knowledge, no matter what, you always will need the air brakes to be CDL equivalent no matter what. So that's one endorsement you have to take no matter what. That was $10. Okay. After that, once you pay your endorsement that day, okay, they suggest, listen, we suggest you to pay for all the endorsements at once. Not necessarily you have to take them back to back right then and there, but you take your time. You got 6 months until your permit expires, basically, right? So you got 6 months to take or for the rest of the endorsements. Okay. So the endorsements is air brakes, hazmat, doubles, triples, combinations, and tankers. Okay, it's 5. Okay. So I end up saying, nah, I'll pay for it later. So when I went back the next time I wanted to go back, the next weekend, I said, okay, I want to pay for all the rest of the endorsements. They said, well, we told you to pay for right then and there, so it'd be cheaper, you know. And this guy, they probably don't tell you this, but the guy was nice enough to tell me. He said, listen, it's gonna be $30 in endorsement instead of $10. I'm like, damn. So overall, I spent like $205 for my permit, where it could have been like 145, I think. Now that's what it is, right? Something like that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. You know, I end up paying. That's how much I paid. So I got my permit. Okay. So now when I call the school up, I'm gonna tell you a story in another video, you know, about my last job. But I end up, I'm gonna tell you now. So I got the permit and everything. When I got the permit, the school that I found out. So basically, the job that I was working for, I was working for FedEx. Okay. So I was working for FedEx. They wanted to. They told me that the general manager of the department of the CDLs, of the driver apprentice, he basically said that, okay, once you get all your endorsements, everything, get your permit and everything, come see me. So, okay, cool. No problem. Now, my back history, I ain't had my license in 11 years. Okay? You know, due to me, you know, my reckless past, whatever the case may be. All right? So now I'm 2 years fresh, you know, of having my license, you know. So I ended up getting my permit and everything, you know, and my incident happened well over 5 years, okay, at the time, okay? So the last incident I'm gonna say during that time was well over 5 years ago. That was my last incident with me driving, whatever the case may be. All right. So anyway, long story short, he was pulling my leg, saying, "Okay, go get it." Boom, I got it. Boom, whatever the case may be. So I end up going back to the job and say, "Hey, listen, I got it." Okay, now he tells me fill out the application. I filled out the application. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, like, you know, what's going on. You know, he tells me, "All right, we just waiting for your background to come back." So I'm waiting 2 months goes by. You know, I'm like, look, my permit about to expire, you know, in like 4 months, you know, like I don't want to keep waiting, you know. So he's pulling my legs, and, oh, we ain't getting nothing back yet. Then he says, I asked him, I said, so what do you guys do? Like, just so I know. He said, we go back 5 years of your driving history, and if you have more than 3 moving violations, we can't hire you. I said, okay. He said, but we go back 10 years, you know, just to see your history. I said, okay, no problem. So when he came back, he told me, hey, listen, man, this is like, it's about to be, I'm 3 months in, you know, and I got 3 more months left, you know, for me to take my, my permit, whatever. He tells me, oh, we're not going to hire you. I said, why? He said, because your background, your record. I said, but I looked on the thing. I said, so you guys don't go by what you say? And then it says, when you go back 10 years, you can't have no more than 3 moving violations within the 10 years too. So no more than 3 moving violations within the 5 years, and then no more than 3 moving violations within the 10 years. So overall, all I had was 1. They wouldn't hire me. So I'm like, bro, you can't fight for me. You can't talk to the higher up. Like, I've been a good employee, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that, anybody, like, this is for anybody that's watching this video. If you see somebody getting their CDLs, you don't think that's a big stepping stone, you know what I mean? That they trying to improve their life, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't see it like that. And I just think that's wrong. Like, you know what I mean? If a felon could be a president of the United States, you mean to tell me my past is still gonna haunt me for me to improve myself, to have a better job, to have a better future for my family, even myself? Like, well, come on. Anyway, so I just said screw it. So I ended up with my job. I was full time. The reason, and it's a whole story that I basically wanted to move up in this job. They didn't want to hire me as supervisor. They passed away 4 times. Okay, when it came up for supervisors, they kept hiring newer people or people outside. So I wanted to get my CDLs, and then I just see that, like, this place is not for me. So I end up looking at the school. When I went to the school, Okay, they told me, man, I put 1,500 down. Okay, and they told me I had to be there for 3 weeks. The first day of my driving training, they put you in the truck. You know, I'm not manual restricted. I got manual. Um, I could drive manual. And that's the best way. I suggest everybody to go for non-manual restriction, period. You know, just get it, you know. And to be honest with you, driving stick is kind of like fun. You know, yeah, you gotta let yourself build that caliber of saying, yeah, I'm gonna relax, you know, I just want the gears to shift themselves and shit like that. Look, learn everything, because I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be a time where you're gonna see a job that's paying very well. And when you look at, once you do OTR and you see that it's a local job and they need somebody experienced, but that bad boy paying 6 figures and better, trust me. And all they got is manual trucks. Trust me, you're gonna wish you had that manual non-restriction on your license. So please, just just go ahead. Don't be scared. You know what I mean? If you know how to drive a regular manual car, it's gonna be simple for you in a sense when you're driving, 10 speed, 13 speed, 18 speed. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be simple, but when you get to the past 10 speeds, it's a little different, but it ain't hard at all. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It ain't hard. So first day, boom, they put you in that truck. They want to see how many gears you can get into just going through a straight line, straight like that. You know, then you put in reverse, go back, and do it again. All the time. All it is, simple. Clutch, throw it in third gear. That's how you start off. That's how they want you to start off for third gear. You never start off at one, never start off at two, unless you heavy. Okay, unless you 78,000 pounds or 80,000 pounds or more. Okay, you start for the first gear, but normally, no matter what, whatever manual you got, you're gonna start off the third gear. You get off the third gear, clutch, okay? This is the pedal, this is the clutch pedal, okay? All right, gas, all right. So you let go of the clutch, it's in gear, boom, you hit the gas, boom, clutch, neutral, clutch, gear. Now you're in fourth gear, so on and so on. I'm telling you, it's real easy. It's shit is simple. Um, yeah, so that's the first day. Second day, you do the same thing. Now you doing the courses. You do the alley dock, you do you do parallel parking. Parallel parking was my thing. You know, me and my buddy of mine that we graduated together. And the funny thing is, we used to work at FedEx together. Back in the day. Um, and he came up with an idea of what was the best technique to how to get that bad boy in parallel park. And once he came up with the idea, and it worked every time on how to back up, so that was a good technique. Once you do that, and then this is all the first week, then like the third day, you out on the road. You know what I mean? They tell you they go through like this little course, you know, get the jitters out. They tell you just drive around. Like they're gonna now it depends on your class size, you know what I mean? It was 3 of us, my class. Okay. They could be 4, it could be 6 or whatever case may be, but they have multiple trainers, there's multiple trucks there and things like that. So yeah, so the first day we did the straight line, but then we also had half of the day, the rest of the day, we was doing pre-trip. Now the pre-trip, I suggest they should have never changed it now, because the pre-trip was going over the 160 points or 20 points, 120 points of the truck. Okay, please don't call me, but I know it's over 100 points. Okay, meaning they go over what's important that you need to know about your truck. Now the conflict with that is you might have different engines. Okay, so I learned off of the Cummins engine, which I think, now that I know a little bit more about trucks, was the best thing that they could have taught me, because off of Cummins, because when you think about being your own owner operator, you will kind of want to start off with a Cummins motor, or even the Detroit, because Cummins is like more easier for uh yourself to work on. You know what I mean? And the parts can be common, and Cummins motors are usually like a first stepping stone of how to fix your own truck. If that make any sense. Um, Detroit is another good motor. They've been around for years as well. Caterpillar, I mean, they are great motors as well, but they just fuel suckers. They just suck fuel. So I mean, my top two will be Cummins and Detroit. Detroit, I mean, I don't know too much about, but I would love to. And when I mean I don't know too much, I never worked on them myself at all. Like, I've seen when I got my truck worked on, any truck that I had a Cummins motor in it. I was learning from the mechanic working on it, talking to me and stuff like that. And of course, I did a lot of videos because that's the truck that I was driving. I had that type of motor in it. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you go over your pre-trip. So your pre-trip is basically your engine components, okay, your brake components, your axle components, okay, your drives are your four wheels in the back, okay. You go over those components, your fifth wheel. You gotta learn about your fifth wheel and everything. Your lights, okay. You learn about your trailer, okay, making sure you know all of that. Your your axles and your trailer, okay. You got leaf springs, or you got leaf springs in them, or air ride. Okay, you got to know your bellows and all of that good stuff. All right, your DOT bar, everything. Then you do your air brake check system. You got to know that, just in case you might never know. You ain't got no air going in and things like that. You need to know everything that you possibly need to go over. Let me tell you, the first time, it's a lot. You're not gonna remember right off the rip, but I guarantee you, just like the trainers told me, they said, look, after the third, fourth day, it's gonna become memory, 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 memory. And they wasn't lying. So I ended up doing that. So pre-trip definitely was a thing, you know what I mean? And it's something that you will definitely have to do, and you will want to pre-trip your truck, of course, every time you're supposed to pre-trip when you're out in this road, okay? So that's the thing. But other than that, the 3 weeks was amazing. They take you out on the road. By like your third day, you just start driving, you taking turns, getting used to the gears, getting off the exit, okay, getting familiar with the road, the highways, things like that, staying in the speed limit, okay, things like that. No, it's not like a car. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of truck drivers that you'll see that's doing, 75 and a 65. I mean, there ain't nothing you could do about it, and I could do about it. That's their business, right? But yeah. Now, from what I heard, is that they changed it to 50 points of the components of your truck that you're supposed to learn. I don't know why, but they're just gonna make the next truck driver a little bit short on knowledge. But um I don't know why. And I think they upped it up on the classes. Like each endorsement, something like that is like no, the hazmat is an 8-hour class, not 8-hour course. Now, if you bypass this before 2022 or January, no, I think it was February, before they made the rules, you're grandfathered in. So when you renew your hazmat, all you gotta do is take the quiz online. Okay, when you go ahead and renew your permit, stuff like that, you can take it 6 months ahead. So when the time for your license to get renewed, you can be able to take it, and boom, you know. Now, if you didn't meet that mark, after February, it was February 6th or 7th or something like that, 2022. Any time after that, and you just got your CDLs, you're gonna have to take an 8-hour course or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know so I can know, so I can be able to tell somebody. I think you got to take an 8-hour course every time you want to go ahead and get your hazmat renewed. But I know now, if you want to get your CDLs, hazmat is a whole separate class. Now you got to take an 8-hour course on that. So definitely, that's the thing. But yeah, 3 weeks, boom, and say like you're struggling on your payments and 3 weeks pass. Okay, they won't give you a license. They will make sure you keep coming to class, and you pay that off. Once you pay that off, then that's when you go ahead and now if you take the test, whatever. I'm not. Don't quote me because I don't know. Because all I know is what they told me. They said you'll be able to take the test and everything or whatever, but they won't give you a license until you finish paying. You can't knock them. Okay, so pay that off, and then it'll be worth it. $5,000 is worth it. Now I don't know. It ranges between. Well, I know a family member of mine. He ended up paying 9,000 or something like that. I'm like, whoa. But think of it as an investment. Okay, think of it as an investment because once you go looking for a job, you know, they have bonuses, okay? And yeah, of course, you're not going to get it all at one shot. You know what I mean? 2,500, they got jobs that's a bonus 2,500, 5,000, $10,000 bonus, sign on bonus, you know what I mean? So you can get that back. And you got that bonus. And then on top of that, you got jobs that, pay you back for first time comers, being a CDL driver. They reimburse you on your what you spent to get your license. So that's a plus. So think of that. Um, Another thing is, okay, if you're in a situation like me, that had a background, between your driving record or even criminal record, okay, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna go OTR. Okay, 9 times out of 10. Okay, there are jobs that will take people, local jobs. You know what I mean? It all depends. But I'll say this: just know that going to a local job at first, fresh out, and you got a record, you're gonna get basically paid similar to if you was working at a Walmart distribution. You know what I mean? In a sense. Yeah, you're gonna feel like, oh, this truck driving and shit is not worth it. And I can understand that, because they look at you as a newbie. Well, we look like paying you 80, $100,000 a year. We're gonna start you off 65. We're gonna start you off 70 grand. Okay, you making a couple $100, but you was working, busting your ass, working at Walmart or Amazon, whatever. You know what I mean? But you'll get paid weekly, whatever case may be, benefits and everything like that. And not only that, the deductions that come out. So you really gonna look at it like, damn, I got for this, I might as well work at a warehouse. You know what I mean? No cap. But I will always suggest jump out the window and go OTR. Go OTR, get them jitters out. Let me tell you, within my first 2 months, I've crossed 24 states. My first 2 months. Now I've done all the way to Maine, all the way down to Florida, all the way to Texas, and I did Colorado, Wyoming, and Kansas. I didn't do North Dakota, South Dakota, and West Coast, all the way out there, past Wyoming. I only probably been closer towards Midwest on the Wyoming side. You know what I mean? But other than that, um, Chicago, Ohio, Indiana, Tennessee, North Carolina. So I've been everywhere. Midwest, back up north. I've been everywhere. At least like I just said. I did most of those states. I never did West Coast and Northwest. Okay. So I never been there. So I don't know the experience there. And reason why I haven't been over there is because due to uh a lot of things going on with California. Um, Also the rate per mile, things of that nature. Um, and throughout the whole pandemic, it's been a downshift. So and not only that, I mean, eventually I will go out there. It's not that I don't want to, but yeah. Um, but I will always suggest go OTR. Get them jitters out. learn the basics. Not only that, think of it like, you're traveling to get paid, you know, and you sightsee from, a trucker's point of view. You know, sometimes you might do a 34-hour reset, which is like your weekend, whatever state. I've done so many in Florida. I've done so many in Georgia. I've done so many in Texas, 34-hour reset, you know, and it's nothing like, catching an Uber, let me go to the, nearest, restaurant, or no, let me get an Uber to go to an enterprise, and then some of these, most of the majority of enterprise that you go to too, right? And you telling me a truck driver, they'll drive you back to your truck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. And hey, listen, man, do you mind driving me back to my truck? Because I have no way to get there. Yeah, sure, we can drive you back to your truck. And they cool with it. You know? Just to keep that in mind, you can definitely travel, you know what I mean? It is hard, especially if you got kids, you know, it's just making that sacrifice, okay? Now, I don't want to make it seem like and feel like, this shit is like a jail bed or some shit like that. Like, I get it, okay? There's a lot of people that are sentimental when it comes to their family, and I get it. I'm a father of four, okay? I've done this shit already, you know what I mean? But you got to put it in front of your head, who you doing this for, right? Who you doing this for, okay? You got a good woman on your side, you know what I mean? Uh, Holding you down, making sure that they fed, you FaceTime, you speak to them, things like that. You out for a month, you out for 2 weeks at a time, you out for 3 weeks at a time. You know what I mean? Even if you got babies, because I've done this shit when I had babies. You know what I'm saying? Um, you gotta motivate each other. You know what I mean? Get this experience in. And I'm gonna say you're more experienced when you get 2 years or more. Okay, consistently, getting your CDLs, other than that, yeah, don't I can't tell you I can't tell you how to feel, you know what I mean? Because the way how I look at it, I'm gonna tell you how I look at it. Like, look, every day I just know I'm grinding, because when I get home, I mean, luckily my job, I'm home every weekend. You know what I mean? This days I'm home during the week, because now, I mean, the company that I'm at, I could be home every day. I'm gonna just tell you that I could be home every day if I want to. But you know, right now I just choose not to. I choose to let me go out, and then, I pick and choose. You know what I mean? But I'm home every weekend. You know what I mean? There's jobs out here that make sure you're home every weekend. So, um, when you first start out, telling you, go do that OTR, man. OTR, I mean, OTR, yeah, you got jobs that, um, you're out, you got to be out 2 weeks at a time, or you got to be out 7 days, 9 days at a time, and then you come home for a 34-hour reset. Or you can find a job like mine, and you out 5 days and home on the weekends. They got jobs out here that's forced dispatch where you got to take the load, or non-forced dispatch. No forced dispatch. Okay, so that means basically you're not being forced to take this load if you're a non-dispatch company. I mean, no forced dispatch. You know what I mean? You don't have to take the load. And obviously, it's the opposite. Forced dispatch. I mean, they don't say it, but it's they suggest you to do that because you got companies out there that would probably stick you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're like, I don't want to go that way. I'm like, okay, cool. They take that off, say like you gotta do 1,200 miles going that way. And I'm like, okay. And let's say like you get paid per mile, you get 60 cents per mile, you know. They might just mess around and find you something 600 miles, you know what I mean? And boom, you gotta stay. Once you do those 600 miles, they stick you the whole 24 hours. You just sitting there when you could have took that 1,200 mile and made an extra 600 miles. You know what I'm saying? Where like you're still moving. You know what I mean? So just be mindful of that, but yeah, I always suggest do OTR. Get your stripes in first, man. Get your stripes in. Yeah, 2 years is a lot, but you gotta ask yourself, in 2 years, what would you have been doing? Still working at that last bullshit job, you know what I mean? Scraping up them pennies, saving this, that, and the third, like everybody's situation, everybody money situation is different now. Think about it. From you making between $500 to $800 a week, you could be making between $1,000 $2,000 a week. Okay, you know what I mean? For some of those that got jobs that you get paid every 2 weeks, you get $800. You know what I mean? $1,200 every 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So you do the math. You making more being a CDL driver, taking this little bit of risk, being away from home for a little bit, or it's better for me being at this warehouse, got to clock in every day. If I call off or call out, point system, man, look, I was tired of that shit. I was definitely tired of that. Yeah, when you get your CDLs, you got a lot of freedom. You definitely got a lot of freedom. Like majority of the driving jobs, besides like Walmart, I think Walmart and like LTL companies and Walmart. LTL is like the load, like ABE, Yellow, UPS. I don't know about Yellow, but US Foods. You gotta wear a uniform. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with uniform. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you just gotta wear a uniform with some of these companies. There's a lot of companies. I don't care how you look, as long as you look presentable. You got pants on, long sleeve shirt. Make sure you gotta have a yellow vest. Always, no matter where you at. Some places, no matter. I do flatbed, so I gotta have a hard hat no matter what. I always suggest get two of them bad boys. You know what I mean? Get safety glasses. Always have more than one. Gloves, I got a ton of those. Just because I'm always using my hands, so my gloves rip, tear, whatever. Um, what else? Yeah, man. Getting your CDL, get your 2 years mark, man. When you get your 2 year mark, man, let me tell you, a lot of doors open. Now you could be home, you could do local jobs, that's paying six figures. You're home every day. Shit, you might be driving 4 days a week. You know what I mean? Now you're a quote unquote vet, But yeah, man, get your CDLs, stop BSing around, you know, sit down with your loved ones and let them know, look, man, I'm gonna do this for us. And if you single, do this shit for you, man. Especially if you single, what are y'all doing? You know what I mean? Put the blunt down. You know what I'm saying? And get your ass in this damn truck. Point blank, period, man. I be making excuses. And let me tell you, look, I was one chiefing it up all the time. I went cold turkey. Cold turkey. And a lot of people can't do that. But you got to look at what am I going to do the next 5 years? Still blowing it down. I'm spending $300 every 2 weeks on just some fucking way. So you have to brighten up, smarten up. What's beneficial for me. There's other people that got other ways to make money. Great. I pat you on the back. You can be able to do that. But let me tell you something. If you take this path and you smoking every day, you might feel okay. You might feel like I'm at ease. But let me tell you, the best thing I could have done is stop. Stop. Why? Because now I don't have those feelings, what they quote unquote say anxiety feelings, all of that. All that shit is really mental, you know. I don't depend on it, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. What I like to do is go home, kick my feet up, on the day that I come home, give me a little tequila, I'm chilling. But guarantee in the morning I'm in the gym. And when I'm out on this road, I'm in the gym. I manage them. I got my weights, all that, you know. I gets it in, you know. So yeah, man, get your ass up. Stop being a pothead. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Stop being a pothead. Stop sitting here thinking about life is so hard and this, that, and the third. Especially if you ain't got no kids. Get off your ass and get to this bag. Because y'all be making a whole bunch of excuses. And you got people out here like myself that got kids out here that's really trying to do it better than what they did yesterday and the day before. You know what I mean? So I suggest y'all go ahead and get your CDLs and get to this bag. And hopefully you'll definitely be successful, and I hope you do, you know. But yeah, till next time, you know what I mean? Peace.